But yeah, I passed out. I woke up in between, saw some Reactgate drama, some further Reactgate drama, and then I immediately went back to sleep, only to wake up to go eat at this restaurant that my brother had set up for us, some French restaurant with 2 Michelin stars called Daniel. That's where we went last night. And let me tell you, the chef's name is Daniel Belud, okay? And holy moly, it was crazy, okay? This is some decadent dining right here. I mean, this is for obviously a celebration. You know, we're breaking the bank, busting it out for a special occasion, obviously, but it was definitely worthy. Do you have any pics? I did not take any pics, but here, I'll show you this. Executive pastry chef Sean Velez's dessert techniques to help you understand like what we're looking at. It was insane. Lots of flowers, things like that. But it was pretty crazy. Anyway, no escargot. I did eat a lot of foie gras though, because the menu changes regularly at this restaurant. Apparently, they constantly cycle through it. Everything is like locally sourced. So you were eating like, Pennsylvania rabbits. Did you die of starvation? No, because the reality is at these places, they cheat. Every Michelin restaurant that you ever go to, if you ever are fortunate enough to experience one of these things, they always will give you small portions, but they'll load you up with the best bread you've ever had in between. The best bread and the best butter you've ever had in your entire life. Watch The Bear on Hulu. They show how the kitchen works a little bit. Yeah, that's what I did. I don't eat bread, so they would not please me. No, this bread and butter, you make do, okay? If you're not a big bread eater, you eat this fucking bread. Anyway, I had some rabbit dish. It was a 4-course meal. You pick one from each individual course. I had some rabbit, Pennsylvania's very own rabbit. It was all right. And at first I thought, oh man, this is going to be a little underwhelming, I think. But I was wrong. Let me tell you, folks, the second course was the foie gras. And I don't know where the fuck they got this duck, but it's a flambe for One Piece fans. You already know what that is. It was a flambe foie gras that they whip up in front of you at the table. Not very ethical. This was probably the least ethical meal I could have had from a vegan perspective. I apologize to the vegans because, as you guys know, foie gras is illegal in some places because they just shove a thing down the throat of a duck and then they pump it full of lard so it has the fattiest liver possible. But of course, the cruelty and the torture makes for a profound, decadent, and incredible dining experience. Flambe does nothing. It's just for show. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't give a shit. The foie gras was incredible. I mean, it was better than the foie gras I had in France. There is ethical foie gras. Well, I don't know if this one was ethical or not, but let me tell you, in my tummy, it certainly felt incredible. It was the most incredible experience I had. The foie gras was so fucking tight, but it didn't end there. The lack of ethics in my dining experience did not end there. I usually will tell you guys, I will warn you against certain selections to make. I often will tell you not to get veal. Not because it's unethical, but because it's actually not that good. Veal is not very tasty in normal circumstances because it's just not very fatty. It's just not. It's not a good cut of meat. It's not very fatty. Anyone who tells you otherwise is wrong. That's the whole point. It's like filet mignon. Filet mignon is not a good cut of meat in the way that it's not the tastiest cut of meat. It's a good cut of meat, but it's not the tastiest cut of meat because it's not as fatty. Because the texture of the fat and the way that the fat mixes in with the protein is what makes a steak incredible. That's why if you ever have the opportunity, I would recommend going with a ribeye cut instead. Yeah, and most people that understand dining, like chefs, will probably agree with me in the chat that is like the fat is the flavor. However, this was a unique experience because we were at this place and all the other mains didn't look as good. I went with the veal, and my God, I've never had a veal like this in my entire life, and I will never have a veal like this ever again for the rest of my life. It was the butteriest, melt in your mouth veal I've ever had in my entire fucking life. It was like this big. It was not that big. It was like basically this big. Whew. It better be good if it's 2 Michelin stars. Yes. Do you have to wear a suit jacket to these places? They had a dress code, but it wasn't that strict. You didn't have to wear a suit. I wore one anyway, but I've had veal numerous times. But it's never that good? Yeah, it's not. Because veal is a trick. That's why you have to eat it breaded, you know what I mean? It's not that good. If you eat it as like a veal parmesan and it's breaded all to hell, then it's fine. But like, that's just some steak dipped in butter. Anyone can do that. $4 from the Deej, Dollar General nickname, the Deej. Still, veal parm isn't as good as chicken parm or even eggplant parm. I agree. I am not a very big fan of veal, like I said, except for this one instance where it was delicious. I did the 4-course prefix or the 7-course tasting. No, I did the 4-course prefix because I don't eat seafood, and I didn't want to get the 7-course because if we got the 7-course tasting menu, then it's a shitload of seafood. And if we have a shitload of seafood, I have to eat vegetarian substitutes, and I'm not trying to go to a fucking 2-star Michelin restaurant and eat a bunch of carrots. That's the reason why I didn't want to do that. And luckily my family obliged, and they were like, you know what? We're all in this together. Let's do the 4-course tasting anyway, and go a la carte. What's your opinion on how Ruth's Chris Steakhouse prepares filet? Best steak I've ever had. It's all right. That was incredible. The desserts were all right. I'm a big dessert guy, but I think this was the thing that I got. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. It's like some creme fraiche style shit all around it. It's like a upscale donut. But the reason why I don't like it, and I've noticed this, the reason why I don't like upscale dining desserts, and this is going to get me attacked from everybody, because like in order for it to be a Michelin star restaurant, every single aspect of the dining experience, all the way from the service down to each individual course, including dessert, has to be. The reason why I don't like dessert at places like this, honestly, is because in order for dessert to be gourmet, oftentimes I think a lot of pastry chefs and dessert chefs, like pastry chefs in general, will draw inspiration from natural sweeteners. So it's really fruity. Like all of the desserts are really fruity. And as a big sweet tooth man, I like processed sugars. And I think sometimes they need to make it processed. And I don't think they do that. And it's like there's too much fruit. And I don't really like it that much. I mean, it was fine. It was great. But as far as the experience, the decadent meal experience goes, I think like if the foie gras and the veal was like an 11 out of 10, the dessert was like an 8. I want a decadent chocolate cake from them. Yeah. Also, because skinny, rich, health conscious women don't eat crazy desserts. No, I think it's not necessarily that hard. Brother, you know the $7 brownie sundae from Chili's the GOAT? I mean, I think it's a little crazy. Like, some of them are insane. They got you good. They gave you this dessert. First of all, this dessert would have been fire. Lucas Gusano. Our waiter at a Michelin 3-star restaurant accidentally drops a black truffle at the table. They shot him in the parking lot for making a service faux pas. Yeah. No, it's nuts. Like, I'll tell you, it's so methodical. Like, for example, if you have your menu open in front of you before the waiter comes over, if you have your menu open, they will not come to your table. You have to close your menu, and it literally, the waiter will materialize out of nowhere. You're like, what the fuck just happened? As soon as every single person at the table closes their menu, boom, he just pops out of nowhere. You're like, what the fuck? Or when you get up, a server will come and immediately fold your napkin. It's stuff like that. Did they run after you when you went to the restroom? No. Yeah, 100 stealth servicers is right. Did you tip? Yeah, of course, dude. What do you mean? No, I didn't tip, dude. My friend is a Michelin star fanboy. He told me about a 3-star that bought a coat warmer so you'd be comfier when leaving in the winter. That's insane. Watch the Bear as a good example of what is done at these types of restaurants. I think the Bear one is a little bit exaggerated. Like, I don't know if they learn about your background and like research every single person that comes in extensively before they actually like serve you, but watch the menu. It's a great representation of what happens at those types of restaurants. They serve humans. Is that why? They serve you human meat. Michelin kitchens are really never that insane. They're just crazily well-oiled machines. Really good restaurants just under that threshold are the wild ones. They literally kill you at the end of the meal.
La 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 la, no DMCA. La 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 la, no DMCA. La 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 la, no DMCA. No DMCA. No DMCA. La 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 la, no